Thank you so much, Phyllis. That was wonderful. It's nice seeing all of you today. My name's Patty, and I will be your spiritual leader today. Your service leader, not your spiritual. And I'd like to welcome everyone to Unity. At Unity, we offer practical spiritual teachings that empower abundant and meaningful living. We are a center for spiritual growth, and we provide inspiration, tools, and practices that support people on their path to spiritual growth. We also extend a special welcome to those of you who are joining us online today. What would we do without you? We can feel your spirit all the way here. Anyways, we extend a special welcome to those of you that are joining us. If you would like to find out more about us or receive our newsletter, we invite you to visit our website at unityofbloomington.org. You can also subscribe to our newsletter while you're visiting our website. Now it's time to stand and all of us join our voices in joyful song.
My mind is open to changing the world. Let it begin, let change begin with me. My heart embraces a world wrapped in peace. Let it begin, let peace begin with me. I am an agent of change, a sweet dove of peace. I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love. I am an agent of change, a sweet dove of peace. I am love unfolding. My eyes envision a world aglow in love. Let it begin, let love begin with me. We move together toward all that is just. Let it begin, let justice begin with us. We are agents of change, sweet doves of peace. We are love, we are love, we are love, we are love. We are agents of change, sweet doves of peace. We are love unfolding. We are love unfolding. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing freedom today. I'm choosing freedom today. I am walking the road to heaven right now, singing I'm choosing freedom today. I choose forgiveness today. I choose forgiveness today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I choose forgiveness today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today.
Please stand, and together we'll give our statement of being. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. This power expresses life, love, wisdom, and abundance through me. In it, I live and move and have my being. Please be seated. One way we empower abundant and meaningful living is by practicing and living our 5 basic principles. I will state the principle, and I invite you to respond with the affirmation. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in our lives. God the good, omnipotent. God is. We are spiritual beings created in God's image. The Spirit of God is within each of us. I am. We create the experience of our lives through our thoughts and our beliefs. I create. We become aware of our oneness through prayer and meditation. I pray. We transform our lives by putting these principles into practice. I live. I now invite Ginger for a moment with our children.
Thank you so much, Patty. I appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone at home. It's so good to see you, and for those at home, it's so good to feel you in my heart. We have officially entered into July, and with that, I'm sure many of you have been having either mini vacations or maybe extended vacations, or just inviting a lot of fun into your life. So I am excited when I hear people tell me about their trips. I know the Lamantias went to Italy and parts of Europe, and let's see, Betsy went to Florida, and anyone else take a nice roundabout trip? Lynn, where did you go? Oh, and Karen and Wendy are currently in France. So, wow, what adventures we have. Some of our younger people, maybe you might be going to summer camp, or maybe learning how to do something over this summer break. So it's an exciting time. And I wanted to share kind of my last weekend. Because sometimes we make the most detailed plans. Actually, that's not me, but that's somebody that makes detailed plans. But I did make plans. But then sometimes, for whatever reasons, things just don't unfold how I expected them. And one of the things that we are practicing here at Unity is how to manage when things don't go the way we had planned. So last weekend was kind of you all know I'm a K-pop fan. Well, a young group called the Stray Kids are in the U.S. So their saying is, stray kids everywhere around the world, you make stray kids stay. So it's like this umbrella. It's an embracing to all of us stray kids all around the world. So they were in Chicago Friday night, and then they were going to be in Atlanta on Sunday evening. So back in April, when these tickets went on sale, I am an expert ticket buyer now. I went on, got my computer ready, got my phone ready. You have to do several different avenues to get the tickets that you want. So I was all ready, and I had first thought, let's go to Atlanta, 4th of July. It'll be really fun. So I the time ticked down, and all of a sudden it was time to buy tickets, and lo and behold, I got me some tickets to Atlanta. And then, since Chicago's on a different timeline, because like usually it takes a couple of hours to buy tickets, but I got them like really quick. And so it was like I could buy tickets in Chicago. I still had time. They hadn't opened the gate, so to speak. So I stayed online, got my tickets for Chicago. So my husband and I decided that we would drive to Chicago on Friday night, drive up there, go to the concert, and then drive back. Now, it's just a 4-hour trip. So, it should be okay, but that's going to probably be the last time that I drive up to Chicago and go to a concert and then drive back, because at 3 in the morning, I was a little tired and grumpy. And I didn't want to fall asleep because then I'd feel guilty because then my husband would be driving all by himself. But anyway, so that went great. We went to sleep for a couple of hours, and then we got on an airplane. So we got my daddy all packed, and we got ourselves to the airport, and we took off on an adventure to Atlanta. So we get there to Atlanta, and Daddy is happy as long as he gets fed lunch and he has a TV. So I had him hooked up. So we got to Atlanta, and we had a fun evening. We went to the grocery and bought some things and, had a little supper for us. And then we woke up the next day, and Scott goes, "Have you looked at Twitter yet?" And I went, "No." And he goes, "Well, you might want to look at Twitter." And so I opened up my Twitter, and it said, 3 of the stray kids have tested positive for COVID. And so the next 2 concerts are going to have to be canceled to stay in guidelines with the CDC and all of that wonderful stuff. So we are in Atlanta. The only reason we are in Atlanta is to go to this concert, and then we find ourselves without a concert to go to. And I was so impressed with my reaction to this, because at first I thought, oh my goodness, the only reason we're here is to go to this concert, and now we're not going to the concert. And then my next thought was, oh my goodness, we're in Atlanta, what are we going to do? So I just want you, as you go through your life, to really, when things don't work out like you plan them to do, to recognize that maybe that wasn't the experience we were meant to have in that moment. And to feel the disappointment, feel it didn't work out like we wanted, and then we get to choose how we're going to be in that next moment. So we went and ate Ethiopian food for lunch. And then we went and ate Korean food for dinner. And the place that we were staying had a record player, and I don't personally have a record player anymore, and so we spent the afternoon listening to the records collection that the person had at this Airbnb. And it was just such a relaxing and renewing experience. And then so we just had a wonderful time, and then we got back on the plane on Monday morning and flew back and was like, wasn't that a great trip we had? And my dad was like, yeah, I enjoyed it. And we were like, we did too. It didn't turn out how I had planned. I had all my ducks in a row, and it just didn't turn out. And there was that bit of disappointment, but then it was like, well, I get to choose in the next moment how I'm going to respond or react to the situation. That's one of the things that we want to practice more and more every time that these situations arise, so that we can transition that much faster, and so that we can work through that disappointment and that sadness that we might feel in moments where things don't work out. So as you go through this week, if something doesn't work out like you had planned it, or if there's a roadblock put up in your way, it's okay to feel that moment of, but then go, okay, well, this is the situation. How am I going to choose to respond or be in this next moment? And then you can call forth the blessing of that situation. So we're going to remind everybody to let their light shine as we sing, "Let Your Spirit Shine."
Let your spirit shine, 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 shine. Let your spirit shine, 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 shine. Let your spirit shine, shine.
This year, we're exploring, and our theme is forgiveness, and we're exploring and practicing ways in which we can embrace our unlimited good. During the month of July, we look to the concept of forgiveness. Unity teaches that if I have been hurt or offended, I can begin to at once to forgive and forget that pain. As my mind is cleansed by a willingness to forgive, I am free to remember and appreciate what was good. My love and forgiveness free me from constructive life. As I forgive others, I also refrain from condemning myself for past mistakes. I cannot go forward by looking backward. I want to repeat that one. I cannot go forward by looking backward. So true. From personal standpoint, I may not always find it easy to forgive others or to forgive myself. But when I cannot do alone, God can do through me. My part is to embrace God's healing, freeing, and harmonizing love. I pray for the forgiving love of Christ to do its perfect work through me, freeing me, healing all wounds, and restoring harmony in my mind, body, and affairs. Please join me in saying this month's affirmation together. I embrace forgiveness, giving and receiving it with grace. Okay, I would like to now highlight the following announcements. Prayer support. Today, our prayer partner is Seb Neely. Please join Seb in the ministry office on the left side of the foyer if you have a prayer or request or a celebration. A celebration for life for Zara Pelfrey will be held in Unity Chapel at 4 p.m. on Saturday, July 16th. On Sunday, July 17th, is our 40th anniversary. Celebration honoring Reverend David LeBeau. Come and celebrate the immeasurable contributions Reverend David has made to our spiritual community in this special Sunday service on July 17th, 2022. On July 24th, your guest speaker will be Reverend John Spain. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience on earth. With this experience comes all the challenges of being human together. We recognize there are places in our world where there is an appearance of great conflict, and people are displaced, and people are dying. In the midst of all this, we believe there is no person, no situation, or force greater than the power of God, our source for peace, strength, wisdom, and courage. Let us be silent in the one presence as we affirm divine order and the experience and expression of peace in every corner of the planet. And so it is. Let's read the Daily Word. The Daily Word is produced and printed by Unity. You can learn more about the Daily Word by visiting dailyword.com. The word for today is generous. Today's affirmation is, as I give, I share God's abundance. Now I'd like to read the daily word to you and share it with you and myself. As I give, I share God's abundance. The limitless resources of infinite spirit flow through my loving heart and clear mind, and as a never-ending supply of divine ideas. I always have all that I need to live abundantly, and I share abundance with others joyfully and freely. I give generously of my resources, talents, and skills, happy to support those I care about. I am generous with praise, gratitude, encouragement. I give generously of my time. I am a good friend. I am a devoted family member and a compassionate listener. Whenever I give without thought of reciprocation, I center myself in the divine flow. I am grateful, trusting recipients of Spirit's unfailing generosity and a conduit through which all of God's blessings flow. This statement is from Proverbs chapter 11, verse 25. A generous person will be enriched, and one who gives water will also get water. Now we'll join together in speaking the affirmation out loud. As I give, I share God's abundance. And now repeat it to yourself silently. As I give, I share God's abundance. Today, our speaker and musical inspiration will be provided by our spiritual ministry co-coordinator, Reverend Ginger Curry.
Let's add the Unity music team to that.
I forgive, I forgive, I forgive all the heartache we've come to know. I forgive, for I know a higher way is waiting to be shown. Pain and hurt exist and they feel real. Some transgressions take their time to process and heal. But oh, I'm letting go. It's time to move ahead, time to grow. And so I forgive, I forgive, I forgive all the heartache we have come to know. I forgive, for I know a higher way is waiting to be shown. Darkness sometimes holds us down so deep, trapped by all the burdens that we choose to keep. But oh, I'm letting go. It's time to move ahead, time to grow. And so I forgive, I forgive. I know a higher way is waiting to be shown. I am standing strong with who I am. I release the past because I can. Love is what I choose to feel and be. I've forgiven, suddenly I'm free. I forgive, I forgive, I forgive all the heartache we have come to know. I forgive, I forgive, for I know a higher way is waiting to be shown. For I know a higher way is waiting to be shown. For I know a higher way is waiting to be shown.
Thank you. Thank you, Phyllis, and thank you, Betsy and Penny. I just love it when those harmonies come in. I'm so spoiled getting to hear all that yummy harmony. Thank you, Andy, for allowing us to be heard, and thank you, Seb, for organizing us online. Oh, generous. Generous in our forgiveness. And probably the most time that I'm using my forgiveness practice is spent forgiving myself. I don't know about you, but I tend to recognize a lot of times where I'm not necessarily very nice to myself. So we had lots of wisdom being thrown around this morning as we were preparing. When Phyllis, no, was it Phyllis or Betsy? Betsy, okay. Betsy shared with us that when we're speaking to ourselves, we should imagine we're speaking to a young child, a young, impressionable child. I said, let's consider we're speaking to Mabry, because we can all vision Mabry. So, like, how would we speak to Mabry if inside our heads? We wouldn't yell at Mabry. We would be gentle and compassionate and loving and supportive. And that's the way you and I should start treating ourselves if we're not already doing that. And then Penny said, be your best parent. I said, oh, be your best parent. So lots of wisdom over in that corner. I tell you what, I was learning a lot today. So I wanted to share a couple of things that occurred to me that I just found inspiration through this week as this week unfolded. One is that I pretty consistently use an app on my phone called the Insight Timer. And I use this to facilitate and support my meditation practice. And I have found something called a yoga nidra, used for sleep. And my favorite yoga nidra for deep relaxation is done by a gentleman named Andrew Johnson. And he's over across the pond in the United Kingdom. And maybe it's his voice, maybe that helps too, I don't know. But what happens when we're doing this yoga nidra is that we are becoming aware of our body without judgment. We're becoming aware of the sensations that we are feeling without judgment and just going, oh, wow, my jaw feels a little tight. I wonder if I can relax my jaw a little bit. The muscles around my eyes feel a little tense. I wonder if I can relax those muscles just a little bit. And so you go through this relaxation process where you're just noticing, without judgment, without panic, without fear, but just noticing. And then asking a few questions. How can I relax this just a little more? So when we're going through our daily lives, it's what do you call it? It's leaked into my daily life. When I'm feeling something, you know when you feel something. You usually feel it right here. And you go, wow, I'm feeling something. Something has been triggered within, and all these chemicals have been released, and I am physically feeling it. And then what happens to me is that I forget to notice it, and I just go right into it. My hangry comes out. I love those hangry commercials. Even though Phyllis and I were talking about sugar today, and I can say I've been a month without a candy bar. Yay! So I'm very excited. So my hangry is coming out less and less because we're releasing that sugar addiction. But so this practice of noticing what's going on in my body without judgment has really allowed me to become more aware of when I'm interacting with people. And maybe something happens and this is the buzzword for this year, we get triggered. And we either get angry or we feel hurt, or all those other kind of emotions that we might get. And instead of attaching to those emotions, I can go, wow, something just happened there, and I felt something. I wonder what that's about. Or that I don't have to engage in it, I can analyze it and see what's going on, and so that I don't have to deal with the consequences of erupting on people around me. I can kind of deal with it. But if I were to happen to erupt around my surroundings, it's important that I forgive myself for feeling my feelings very deeply. The other thing that I experienced this week was in the oddest place. So my husband's retiring in November. So I've been doing lots of retirement podcasts and planning and all that kind of stuff. And so one of the retirement podcasts that I was listening to, it's an odd choice maybe, but they had a woman on. Her name was Amy Bloom, and she wrote a book called In Love, a memoir of love and loss. And this book on this retirement program was about the journey that Amy had with her husband, who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and their journey for her supporting him on him ending his life in a compassionate way, on his terms. It turns out that in the United States, if you suffer from mental dementia, there is no path for you to have what they would call the word's slipping, but where you can, dignity, where you can choose how you would like to transition. Even in the states that have dignity laws, you have to be of sound mind. So the only place in the world where it's legal is in I just went blank. In one of those Icelandic countries, Scandinavia probably. But there is a group called Dignitas that supports people in making these decisions. And so on this financial retirement podcast, I got to experience this woman who is an author of other types of books, but her husband really asked her, please share this story after I pass so that others know that there is a different way There's a different way to approach end of life, especially for those that are experiencing Alzheimer's or some kind of debilitative mental decline. And so when she's telling this story, and again, it's Amy Bloom, In Love, A Memoir of Love and Loss, she explains how her mother-in-law, she's quoting her mother-in-law, and she says, "I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time." Now, imagine if we took those words into our daily life and really incorporated them into how we're feeling about what's going on around us. It doesn't matter how long I live, but the important thing is the quality of my life that I'm experiencing right here and right now. So in the song that we just sang, it says, "Sometimes darkness holds us down so deep." So when we're doing our forgiveness work, you and I, there is the rare person that goes through life that does not experience pain or hurt because of others or because of ourselves, because of what others say or do, or because of what we say or do. But as we process and as we do our forgiveness work, if we hold this thought that I have a choice to live my life having a good time, enjoying life, living life in joy, as opposed to living life chained by the burdens that I refuse to release. So I love that I have this quote in my repertoire now. I'm not here for a long time. And even if we live to 100 or 120, like the young folk are live to, in reality, that's still just a snippet of time in the big scheme of things. So while we're here, I encourage all of us to identify those things, those burdens that are holding us down, and find ways to release them. And we might need to release them every day, or we might need to release them every hour, because we just have to peel back that onion, layers and layers of release. The third thing that popped to my mind was in our Unity newsletter. I want to give a big thanks to Reverend Lynette and to Terry Snow. They organize our newsletter that we receive on Thursday mornings in the email. And I was talking to Terry earlier, and she was asking me about, what kind of article should I look at including in the newsletter? What pictures would you like? And I just said, forgiveness. Anything on forgiveness is going to work for us this week. And so she chose an article written by Reverend Jim Blake. Now, Reverend Jim Blake is the CEO of Unity World Headquarters. Now, we kind of have two, I would say, sister co-organizations that we're under. One of them is Unity World Headquarters, and then the other one is Unity Worldwide Ministries. They serve different needs in our community, but they work in tangent to each other. And Jim Blake is the CEO of the Unity World Headquarters. His website is iamjimblake.com, so you can learn more about him. But he wrote an article called Forgiveness and the Art of Well-Being. And I just wanted to highlight a few of the highlights that I found, and I encourage everyone, when you get home, open up your email, read the article. It's a really good article. He writes, "What I would like you to consider with me today is that the act of forgiveness is something extremely powerful we do for ourselves and not for another person." I don't know about you, but I have my hands full taking care of myself. Not to mention having time and energy to take care of other people's baggage. If I am that person that says, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me, if it starts with me, then it can ripple out into the world. Paying attention to my stuff. He says it's very important to acknowledge emotional pain and trauma that you and I experience. We don't want to brush it under the rug and say, oh, don't feel that anymore. I want to feel my feelings deeply so that I don't hold on to them or stuff them down. He writes, it's important to allow ourselves to feel our feelings deeply without judgment. That goes back to my insight meditation act. Feel these things without judgment so we can process them in a healthy way rather than stuff our feelings. So that we can process it, get it out, heal it, so that we don't hold on to it and allow that energy to stagnate and manifest in some other unhealthy way. He continues, that said, our goal in feeling and processing these emotions is to move past them so that we won't become stuck in the anger or the pain or in resentment. We move past them so that we are no longer stuck, so that we can move on to embrace the blessings that are around us. And he offers what he calls his practice for whenever he's feeling some of these unforgiveness or holding on to hurt and anger. He has this kind of affirmation. He says, for whatever harm I have caused others, may they forgive me. For whatever harm others have caused me, may I forgive them. For whatever harm I have caused myself, I forgive myself. And then he goes on to say, this process may need to be repeated several times to release all of the energy that is built up. So, as we go through our week, notice when you feel that tightening in your stomach, or you feel hurt, or you feel anger, or there's a situation that you feel unsafe in. Notice these times. Feel them deeply, process them, and release it. Let's not waste our time here in this physical beingness holding on to things that no longer serve us, holding on to things that will rob me from experiencing my good time here on earth, my life lived in joy and gratitude. Our first affirmation that we say, our statement of being, or not our statement of being, but our community responses is our 5 basic principles. That's where we're at. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in our lives. There is only one power active in the universe and in our lives. So when life doesn't unfold how we planned it, you and I get the opportunity to entrust that it's not done unfolding, that there's more to evolve, there's more to unfold. There is that higher way that is waiting for us to recognize and to travel through. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And the human experience is beautiful and messy. And that's just part of it. And so the more you and I can embrace the messiness of our humanness and to appreciate the beauty that is contained within that, the easier it is for us to see those blessings, those opportunities that are all around us. So we're going to prepare for meditation by reminding ourselves that in this moment, in every moment, you and I are safe. We are loved and we are held and we are secure.
In this and every moment, I am safe and all is well. In this and every moment, I am safe and all is well. In this and every moment, I am safe and all is well. In this and every moment, I am safe and all is well. I am held, I am whole, I surrender to it all. When I trust and let go, then I know that all is well. All is well. In this and every moment, I am safe and all is well. In this and every moment, I am safe and all is well. I am safe and all is well.
I invite you to take a nice deep breath in and release. Unwrap your arms and legs. Lengthen your spine. With your feet firmly placed on the floor, imagine your energy reaching deep into the earth, feeling the grounding presence of earth, feeling that comforting support. And now allowing your head to drift to the ceiling. Imagine your energy stretching out to the sky, unlimited, not bound by physicalness, but expansive and reaching out. Breathe again in. Hold for a moment and release. You and I are here for a moment. We are here to experience all the highs, the lows, happiness, sadness, beauty, pain, all of it wrapped up into this human experience. And the beauty is, every time we embrace what is, what is, we are given the opportunity to process and to grow. And with time, the process and the growth happen that just a little bit more faster, where that we can spend more and more of our time resting and renewing into that ever-flowing peace that flows from within, that joy, that playfulness that's ever pleasant, ever present in our lives. And so we take a moment to invite these words into our consciousness. Whatever harm I might have caused others, may they forgive me. Whatever harm others have caused me, may I forgive them. For whatever harm I have caused myself, I forgive myself. For whatever harm I have caused, may I be forgiven. For whatever harm others have caused, may they be forgiven. For whatever harm I do to myself, I forgive. I embrace and I give forgiveness. I give and I receive forgiveness. With each act of forgiveness, the process becomes easier and more grace-filled. I am generous with my forgiveness. As I forgive, I share God's generosity. I am forgiveness. I am grace. I am love. And now let's rest for a moment in the silence.
We turn now to our spiritual practice of generosity. We are grateful for the many ways that this center supports our spiritual growth, and we turn inward for our happy to support this center with our financial contributions and voluntary service. Today, as we participate in the activity of abundance, we welcome not only the tangible treasure, but also your blessings. As the offering bag circulates around the room, we welcome your treasure and your blessing. Simply place your hand over the bag and offer a thought of gratitude before you pass the bag to the next person. We are also grateful those who have already put into place automatic online giving. Your consistency and dedication help create a stable and thriving spiritual community. As our greeters come forward to prepare for this offering, please join me now in speaking aloud our abundance affirmation. Together, I am an abundant being, living in an abundant universe. God is the source of my supply. I am not dependent on people or situations for my good. God is the source of my supply. I always have something to give, and I consistently give it. I expect the best, I give my best, and I now attract the best in every experience.
I am open and willing to believe. I am open and willing to see all of the blessings surrounding you and me. I am open and willing to receive. I am open and willing to believe. I am open and willing to see all of the wisdom surrounding you and me. I am open and willing to receive. I am open and willing to receive. I am open and willing to see all of the blessings surrounding you and me. I am open and willing to receive. I am open and willing to receive. I am open and willing to receive.
Now we'll bless our abundance with these words. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I would like to invite you to stand and join with me in saying our closing prayer together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God unfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. In gratitude for Gradient Health, please remain in place and join us in singing together, Let There Be Peace on Earth.